Hello, I'm Serge from SkyComp, and today we're going to talk about warm and cold transfers with your 3CX system. So, the first question you might ask is, what's the difference between a warm and a cold transfer? So, I'll start first with a cold transfer. You have a caller calling you, you pick up the phone, they want to talk to somebody on your team, you hit the transfer button, you transfer that caller over, and you immediately hang up. That means your team member, their phone rings, and when they pick up the phone, they're immediately talking to the outside caller. So that's a cold transfer because you didn't do a warm introduction. So the slight difference to that is a warm transfer. You're talking to the outside caller. You call your internal team member. During this time, the outside caller is on hold. You talk to your team member and say, I have John Smith on the phone for you. Can you take the call? They say yes. You'll hit your transfer button. Now you'll be dropped out of the call and the remote caller, John Smith, will be connected to your team member. And that's a warm transfer. And that's because you did that warm introduction before transferring it. So let's get right into it and show you how it works. So we're going to initiate the call. So right now, we're talking to the external caller and we want to transfer this over. So you're going to hit your transfer button. You're going to dial the number you want to transfer it to, and then you're going to hit transfer. Then immediately you can see we've dropped out of the call and we're on the remote. So the initial caller was on hold during that time for a short period. We called the other extension, we hit transfer, and we can see this phone is not part of the call anymore. It's as simple as that. So again, the steps are when you're on a call, you'll hit the transfer button. Hitting the transfer button will immediately put the remote caller on hold. You'll dial the extension and then immediately hit the transfer button again. That drops you out of the call and the remote caller is ringing to the other phone. If that user doesn't pick up, it will go to the voicemail of that other user. If the user does pick up, they're immediately talking to the external caller. Generally speaking, we don't recommend using a cold transfer. It's a little bit more impersonal, and we always recommend using that warm transfer. It gives a better experience for your team member, and it gives a better experience for the remote caller. So, with that done, let's just jump right into warm transfer. So the process starts exactly the same. We have a call. So we pick those phones up, and now you're going to hit transfer again. You're going to dial the extension you want, but instead of hitting transfer this time, you either wait or you can hit call. Hitting that call button just stops that timeout. So now the remote user is still sitting on hold and you're talking to your team member right now. And you can see you have 3 buttons. You have swap, conference, and transfer. So what swap does will put your team member back on hold and join you to the outside caller, so you haven't joined any calls yet. So that lets you talk to the outside caller, do some clarifying questions, anything like that. Then you can hit swap. That'll put the outside caller back on hold and swap you back to your internal team member. If you want to do a 3-way call for any reason, it's the same procedure. You just hit the conference button. As soon as you hit the conference button, it will join all of the callers together in one big party line. But in this case, we're doing a warm transfer. So at this stage, I've done the introduction. Hey, we have John Smith on the phone. They want to talk about XYZ. Are you ready to take that call? Can you take that call? Yep, no problem. I can take the call. Perfect. Here comes John. Hit transfer. It immediately drops me out, and the outside caller is immediately connected to that user. That's it. That's the easy process for warm and cold transfers. Hopefully you found this useful. Look forward to more videos on how to make the most out of your 3CX system.